Okay. Hope all of you can see the screen. Namaste, everyone. Yeah. Yeah. Namaste. Let's sit comfortably, back spine straight, sit tall. Let's tune into ourselves for the class. Exhale completely and relax your facial muscles and shoulder areas. Breathe in and feel yourself energized. Exhale and relax. Join the palms at the heart center. Feel the connection of the palms. 3 rounds of Om with Prarthana. Breathe in. Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्थेष्वभिज्ञं स्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
Namaste everyone. I'll continue the screen itself because we will not go into the book, because we are going to have a small short summary what we had covered, and so that the session can go in a very interactive manner and also introspective manner, because otherwise knowledge is not more than knowledge, the doing is important, like always Raghuramji very keenly speaks. So we were here just 2 classes earlier, I suppose, right? The cosmic form of Bhagavan. So when Parikshit Maharaja came in front of Shukamani, he asked, what should a man do when a man is dying? He has 7 days. Just remember that he has only 7 days. And he asked this very beautiful question, this Bhagavata. He is a Bhakta of Narayana himself, and he is asking, what should a man do? So because he was keen that he wants to do what is required to be done, and he was a very, very eager, sincere, honest, dedicated student. and a teacher always looks at the eyes of the student, can understand that this student is absolutely dropped the ego and sitting there right in front of me, not as a raja here, not as a maharaja, but absolute like a student. And the teacher, that Shukamuni, says that let's the first thing is I would he gives a specific instruction that jitasana, be steady in your poses, how stability you have attained, how much stability you have attained in your breathing practice, how much stability is there, because we all know that when the mind is disturbed, the breath is disturbed. So that means the mind has to be stabilized for the breath to be stabilized. So there is and also how regulated our sense organs are. So is it going haywire? Is it like a cock? When you free a cock, when you free a rooster, it just runs haywire. Can you catch a rooster, because it will be running haywire. It's like a person who's trying to catch all the hens together. It's like our sense organs distribute so many different places. So how are we restraining our sense organs? And then we are meditating on the cosmic beautiful form. And last time, 2 weeks ago, Aarti had beautifully read about every feature, every part of Bhagavan representing a beautiful aspect of the universe. And so, and I will not go again into that, so watch that session once more if you feel you want to really do that. And so if we consider this like a beautiful universe, the cosmos itself, why Shukamani was asking us to meditate upon the cosmic form of Bhagavan is Swami Tejomayananda ji in his book has written these some points which I just gathered for us to understand. So basically it has to realize, to drop the ego that is saying I am Prabha, you are Aarti, she is Bala, nothing. We are all absolutely part of Bhagavan. It's like people say, I am part of this and this family. So their identification is with the family. I am Mena Thakur family ko hu. I am like in this family, like this. So here we could say that we are all part of Narayana's family. We are all part of Bhagavan itself. So he said very beautifully, can a finger say separately that I am a finger? The finger will say I am part of the body. If you cut the finger can it exist? So it is just like that. We need to realize our body is not separate from this creation. We do not have a separate identity. So that if we understand that aspect, it just brings about such a oneness with every individual if we see them, because everyone are permutation combinations of different combinations and permutations are different, but finally everyone are part of, they're all joining as part of the cosmic form of Bhagavan or Bhagavan itself. And he beautifully talks about two concepts, Shiva and Shava. Just to beautifully summarize, just to give a simple concept is, if we feel connected to our own self, that is, there is auspiciousness as there is Shiva. And what is a Shava? Shava is a corpse. If we are totally disconnected, if we are totally distant, if we are our sense organs are running like the hens here and there, that is good, this is good, then it's like we are leading a Shava life. If we are leading an auspicious, conscious life, that is, we feel very much connected and we feel we are part of Bhagavan. So that is very beautifully written by Swami Tejomayananda ji. And why do we do that? So that the Chitta Shuddhi happens, so that we feel that one's own true nature is Sat Chit Ananda. But there is a big challenge for all of us, most of us which is very challenging for many of us because of our personalities, our own combination of sattva, rajas, tamas combinations, very beautiful combinations there. Because of that, sometimes the mind does not get absorbed into the cosmic form. Mind starts running somewhere else. Did I put the cooker on? How many whistles did it come? I have to call my friend. Did she WhatsApp? She did not reply to my message at all. Suddenly during the meditation, hundreds of thoughts keeps coming. And it sometimes, for some people, visualization is very difficult. They are very good at analytical skills. They are very, very good. But if you ask them, come on, visualize a garden, it's very difficult. So if you ask them to visualize the cosmic cosmic form, it is difficult. So Shukamuni knows all these things. He gave another very beautiful next strategy, to say very beautifully if you call it strategy. He said, okay, you are not able to meditate on the cosmic form. Meditate on the form dear to your heart, your Ishta Devata. You might be having Rama, Krishna, Ganesha, Muruga, so many people you might be, whatever form which you feel so connected, which you are able to, visualize. Like he was saying, you could visualize Krishna standing on the banks of Yamuna with his flute, on his lips, his beautiful smiling lips, so many different ways you could visualize your Vishta Devata, and you close your eyes and meditate on that form. That itself makes you feel so absorbed. You're absolutely absorbed. Where your sense organs are beautifully directed towards thinking about the form of Lord. That's it. Or some people, it's very difficult for them to visualize because the mind runs like a monkey. So he gives, keep a picture of Bhagavan in front of you, go to have a meditative room, put a picture, fix your mind, keep gazing at the picture, fix your mind at that picture, and then absolutely get absorbed. Or for some people, fixing the mind is very difficult because the eyes starts running here and there. It's very difficult. Then he said, okay, use your Shravana. Listen. Continuously listen to the glories of Bhagavan. Listen to the stories. Hear beautiful talks by people, so that you're shifting your focus from all the outwardly matters to beautifully listening to the glories of Bhagavan. Or you worship the Bhagavan's attributes, whatever you are feeling. Here beautifully Tejamanandaji writes here, every man, whether a beggar or a wealthy man, will have some desires. A wealthy man will say, I want this. A beggar will say, give me roti, kapda, makan, like that. So each one will have some desire or the other, and you might be praying for that particular purpose. People know in the Akshaya Tritiya means everyone will be starting to pray, oh, you Lakshmi, please, give me more and more wealth. But we don't understand the actual reason of Akshaya Tritiya and your Diwali and all that. But he was saying, finally what is there? You're all praying to Bhagavan. That is important. Okay, you are wanting boga or you want yoga, but finally you are praying to Bhagavan. I really like that sentence. Whether you are a boga or a yoga, or you are wanting yoga. Boga means you are wanting sensual enjoyments. So whatever it is, think of Bhagavan. Na? Think that at least you are thinking of Bhagavan. So here is where there is one very short story, because so that you all understand is, there were two boys, Ram and Kishan. They went to teacher. They said that they were chain smokers. Okay. And this is by some Swami Shantananda Puri or something, someone very wonderful saint. He told the story, and he went to the Guru, and they told, we want to learn meditation. Guru said, okay, I will teach you. So now they learnt meditation, but they are chain smokers. They need to smoke once in a while. They were getting very, very restless. So this Ram went inside, you know what, I have to smoke. So I am going to go and tell my Guru. So he went and told something to the Guru. He came out. Kishan asked, what happened? Did Guruji allow? Yeah, he allowed. Oh, allowed, huh? I allowed Sukho. So he also went. He came back with a sad face. What happened? Guruji did not allow. What did you say? Why did Guruji allow you? Then Ram said, what did you say that Guruji did not allow you? Oh, I went and told Guruji, I am a chain smoker. So in between meditation, can I smoke? He said. Guruji said no. Then what did you ask Ram that he said okay? Oh, I told him, Guruji, I have this tendency to smoke. So in between smoking, can I meditate? Okay. There is a very fine line. Okay, if you all I'll repeat it once. Kishan asked, in between meditation, can I smoke? And Ram asked, in between smoking, can I meditate? Then Guruji said, excellent. At least in between smoking, you're remembering the Lord. No, good. Go ahead, smoke and meditate. Go. So there is a beautiful difference that in between the vices, you are between remembering God. At a point it will come that vices, that all the negative qualities will lower and the meditation becomes longer. But in between meditation, you said, let me put a break and then smoke. That smoking thing will be more tempting for you rather than the meditation. So there is a fine line there. So that is where I thought of putting that here, that thing, so that we all understand how worshipping Bhagavan's attributes, worshipping the form of Bhagavan, worshipping on the cosmic form of Bhagavan, or listening the glories of Bhagavan, like what we are doing now in Bhagavatam, really helps us shift our focus. So here I think Bala wanted to say something about the worshipping Bhagavan's attributes.
Yeah. So, we all, okay, we have seen the forms of Bhagavan, yes, and we've seen the Vishwarupam. So, when it comes to Bhagavan's attributes, what all comes to your mind? You can also put it in the chat box, because all of us have our own, definition of Bhagavan, right? Or our own understanding of Bhagavan. So, the moment, just first thing that comes to your mind, one attribute, you can just put in the chat box. Quickly, we put one that is coming. Qualities of Bhagavan, attributes means qualities, his nature. Yeah, nature.
What is the quality of nature which you relate to Bhagavan? Compassion.
Forgiving. Compassion. Compassion. Just the word that comes to your mind. If you think of Bhagavan, you can put giving, abundance. Yeah. Supreme power that makes things happen. Total love, compassion.
Karunamurti.
Nice. So many coming in. No? Let it keep coming in. So when we, like what Prabha was saying, in the middle of, our worldly things, then and there we remember Bhagavan. When we are in touch, I mean, I'm not generalizing, I'll talk for myself, okay? In the middle of whatever work, I keep remembering Bhagavan because I don't know about the rest, so I cannot tell. Okay, in the middle, I remember Bhagavan. So that way, when I close these qualities, flow. Think of Shukamuni. Okay, Shukamuni was one with Bhagavan. He was Parabrahman himself, isn't it? And so he is actually very beautifully giving a list of attributes, accepts all kind of devotion. Yes, and he forms of like Ganesha, Muruga. Yes. So all these attributes, he has given a super universal set. Okay. Look at the beauty of all the rishis, no? Based on, because we all are tuned differently, we all are, our brain is wired differently, we all think differently. So visually, what you want, they have given, to keep listening. Okay, keep listening to the glories, just remembering his attributes and worship. So Shukamuni has given a huge list. So that is called Shukamuni Stuti, which we will see in detail next week. But just to give a glimpse, very beautiful things. Yes, very similar to one or two. Just note it down. He says, see the nature of this infinite, supreme Bhagavan. Okay. He is the one who does Leelas. Like he is the one who is always playing. Yes, who is always in that Leela of creation, maintenance, sustenance. This creation, sustenance, and destruction. So all these three, he is always there, in this Leela with the power of his own power, which is Maya. Yes. And he is also kind of mixing up these three triguna, the three qualities, sattva, rajas, tamas. So he starts like that. And then he says, the way Bhagavan, works is mysterious. We also many times get caught, right, to try and understand, how is he working? I prayed this, he did not give. He prayed the same way, he got what, all those things. But Bhagavan's ways are mysterious. He says, Anupalakshya, which is like, we cannot understand Bhagavan's ways. And he is the Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka, we say, right? He is the Lord of this Ananta Koti Brahmanda. There is not one, right? There are Koti Brahmandas. So he is the Lord who is continuously doing this creating, maintenance, and destruction. He is that Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka, yet he is that Antaryaman who is in all life forms. Yes, as Antaryaman, he is there guiding, protecting, yes, and he is the one who is powering all the life forms, guiding all the life forms, protecting all the life forms, and taking all the jivas who are in this samsara back to source, back to himself. And many things comes which we will see in so a few of the attributes, these attributes, why we must know these attributes, it is very important, because I may have a form in front of me, but now, okay, visualize it, take it, but sometimes when the mind is running, bring these attributes to the form. Yes, so looking at Krishna, when I think, oh, he's the one who is creating everything, so when the thoughts come, he is the Antaryaman behind who is witnessing the thought. So the moment there are thoughts, what can I do? Take back to the Antaryaman and start watching the thoughts. So in every attribute, we can actually link it to our practice of meditation and move our focus towards Bhagavan. So that is the entire idea of giving all these different sets of practice. Based on our temperament, we can, adopt any one and fix to that. And as we saw earlier, I think it's a long-term practice, lifelong. You need to keep doing it consistently and to connect with Bhagavan. Anything, Aarti, wants to say?
Yeah, I was along these lines. I wanted to state some of the thoughts by Aparajitanandaji. These thoughts, these attributes, when we keep thinking about the attributes of the Lord. So what happens based on what my thought is on, my state of mind is such. And based on my state of mind, the world becomes. What I think is what my world becomes. If I am constantly having, looking at the world, looking at negative aspects, then that will grow for me. And I also start that those attributes within me start growing of that negativity that I am seeing in the world, the judgment or the negativity that grows, and the world manifests in such a way. Whatever attributes are growing in me, the world becomes that. Similarly, if we turn around and look at the Lord and understand his attributes and connect with his attributes of whatever we have written here, right? Karuna Murti, love, compassion, supreme power that makes everything happens, abundance. So then we look at the Lord, and these are the thoughts that I am nurturing within me consciously. Then more and more with the Lord's aspects in there, when the thoughts are more on him, then more and more of that reality is what becomes my reality. He, then I and he, the Lord, we, there is a merging of the attributes. That those, I start reflecting the same attributes as the Lord. So as my thought, so is the state of my mind. The purer the thought, the greater the control over the mind. As my thought, so will be my personality. So if I am reflecting on the personality of the Lord, that will automatically start reflecting within me, and I will be able to become one with the Lord, the attributes, and that is it. And as your thought, so will be the world perceived by you. The world will also become such. If I have pure thoughts, if I see Lord in everything, the world will become like that. There will be, I will see oneness, I will see the Lord everywhere.
Just an example, very simple example. As my thought, so is the world perceived. See, when we, for example, we might have taken a walk, okay, in the same street, maybe for many months. Okay, I might have missed, I might not, it is not that I observe everything there. Based on where my mind is, I would observe what is there. Say, for example, if I'm looking for, hospitals on the road, then the thoughts are that. So my mind looks for only that outside, right? And if I'm looking for, say, just even without anything, I don't have to even look for anything. The thoughts are there in my mind, and whatever thoughts are there, only that I perceive. Okay. So a very recent example is, as I was conversing with my daughter, so she was said, how do you say, that thoughts, whatever is there, only, I perceive. For example, from here to, say, Aarti's house, I drive and go. The thoughts of, the bar never comes into my mind. So I don't know how many bars are there from my house to Aarti's house. Okay, just an example. But the next time that has come in my mind, so next time when I drive the same thing, but so in that world now what happens? Once that is there in my mind, that thought, I will start looking, oh, there are so many. Oh, here there is one more which is open. Here there is one more open. So based on what thoughts I have, I am actually perceiving the world, whether I know it or not. So many times, they'll say it is right there. No, the cult is right there. Haven't you seen? McDonald's have come. It's come right there. Why haven't you seen? Though if such thoughts are not in my mind, it does not come. But my thoughts of masala dosa is there. Moment there is a upahara darshini, I know there is something which has come there. So the world also, what we perceive, okay, it completely depends on the state of my mind, and or what thoughts am I connected to. Okay, based on that, I perceive the outer world also, even the physical world. Then what to say of the mental world? That is also the same.
So slowly, consciously, that is like attracts like. Yes. So when I have my mind fixed on the Lord, very consciously, it will be through effort, but slowly, as those attributes with those thoughts constantly within me, it will become much more natural to reflect those thoughts, and then that more and more we will also automatically be pulled to similar kind of attributes, and it will grow within us.
Wonderful. So we'll continue with this. So I hope all of you got this idea, because now when we go to the next thing is Parikshit now is ready to ask another set of questions. The student is filled with questions and the teacher is there to answer the question. So because he knows that Parikshita is not asking to check whether the teacher knows. Parikshita is asking because he really wants to know. So he asks a series of questions, so many questions together. A teacher would say, what, you're bombarding me with questions? No, Shukamani just smiles. So what are his questions? So I put it in points. How did Bhagavan make this entire creation? How does he sustain and then dissolve into himself? Does creation manifest all at once or in sequence? How does he express through the gunas? So this is where he asks these questions. And I'm sure all of us are eager to, hear. And you know what? This is the time he says, Swami Tejomayananda says, there is a style of Puranic way of asking questions and Puranic way of answering. So Aarti, over to you to share that.
See, the way when somebody asks a question, how did the Lord make this entire creation? All these questions seem like very, very, very curious questions. And the Puranic style, in the Puranic style, you will typically, whenever you read either any of the Puranas and the answers being given by Sukhamuni, he starts off by saying, oh, these questions have been asked even by Naradji, even by Brahmaji, because Bhagavatam, how did it come? First by Narayana to Brahmaji, and from Brahma to Naradji, and from Narada to Vedavyasa, from Vedavyasa to Sukhamuni, and now from Sukhamuni to Parikshit. So when they say that, oh, these questions have been asked before by Naradji, also by Brahmaji, and they have received answers from others, and I am stating it, the same answers to you. So what happens here is there is the first step is about humility. Humility is to receive or to give. Humility is the most important factor. So when that kind of a stage is set, where it is said somebody has asked this before, even if the person has asked that question, that person doesn't start thinking, oh, I am thinking of such a wonderful question, so it is not going there. They don't allow it to go up, because then the reception, what you receive, gets filtered, because your ego now comes in the way, and there is a limitedness in what you receive. So they said, okay, somebody has already asked this question before, and whatever answer I am giving, that also has been given before. I am merely restating what others have told. So even the giver the giver of the knowledge is also completely humble, and not in a state that I am the giver. I am merely recycling words that were used by others. Whatever I am saying is words that I have got, and which is true for everybody, all of us, right? We're reading the scriptures, those have become inputs, and now those come out. Can anybody say these are my words and I know, or whatever the scriptural words are what are becoming coming back as recycled words in different ways, probably. So that is what is beautifully written here. Sometimes a questioner thinks himself to be highly intelligent for asking a question that has never been asked before. This is why the speaker says this is not the first time the question has been asked. It has been asked before, so there is no reason for the questioner to feel egoistic and proud. Similarly, the speaker might feel proud about giving an original or precise answer. That is why the speaker first states that the question was asked and answered before, indicating that there is no new or unique answer, though it may be new to the listener. And in today's world, Gurudev Tejomayanandaji says, everybody thinks that I have this original idea. I have this original thought. There's nothing called an original thought. This thought is like a seed somewhere, and I have caught it, and somebody else has also caught the same this thing. Acceptance of the answer, no fabrication. Yes, when I start thinking, I am asking a wonderful question, then I can spin my own wheel. And which then I will not receive the things as they are. So the first step, the Puranic style of answering questions, typically it will, why is this word said? Yes, it has been asked by this person. Yes, this has been. So to kind of say, and also there is another purpose. One is humbling. It is, there is a humbling effect to this. And the other thing is also that, oh, Naradji also asked this question, then this must be a very important question. I must really listen with keenness. And, it has more of a scriptural backing. It seems like this is a pertinent question, a valid question. So, and a valid answer, and I must really keenly listen to it. It also gives more authority to that question and the answer without creating a pride or an ego. It has that effect. And so how beautifully, so this is this Puranic style of asking questions and answering questions whenever somebody asks this.
Yes, and that is how Shukamuni tells Parikshit, you know what? Narada also asked these questions to Brahma. So let me tell you. So now you understood why he says like that. So what did Narada ask? Oh Bhagavan, oh Brahmaji. So it's like, a subordinate is asking his boss, Arey, you're working day and night. Don't you get tired? Where do you get the power, Prabha? Some people ask, right, where do you get so much to do all this well? Where do you get the power? Same way Narada asked like that, So, by whose power do you do all this work? My God, creation is not a simple thing. So much is there, and I see you working. Don't you get tired, oh Brahmaji? Brahma said, very beautiful. Okay, so the one who created this entire universe from the light of his eyes has given me a very small amount of his divine power. Just imagine it's like a sun. Imagine that power, and then you are having one tube light in your house. that much small power only I have got with this, and only by the grace of his Shakti I am doing all this work, not by my own potency. So this is, there is an absolute doer, zero doership here. So that is where here beautifully Brahma tells to Narada here that, you know what, it is all by his grace. I'm just giving a short word here. By the grace of Bhagavan, I am doing it. It is not because I am doing it, it is because of his grace. And that is where, you know, if you just think whatever we are doing in our life, it is because the light of, it is showing us the light. It is here itself. There is one, again, a short story. There's one German guy who goes to Zen master, and then he says, and it seems in that in that ashram they teach archery. It is for a reason. And so everyone practices archery. This guy also goes. He also has a bow and arrow. And he's, these Germans are very, very, very meticulous and perfectionist oriented. So he catches his bow and arrow, and the master is keeping on kind of telling ease. He's telling on, and this guy did not understand all these things. And then he pointed, aimed at the black spot, and then nicely, he released the arrow, and the master said, why did you release the arrow? You are releasing the arrow. And this guy said, obviously I am only releasing the arrow. Master, look, it has hit the spot. It has hit the black spot. Master did not even look there. No, you should not be hitting. You should not be hitting the arrow. You should not be doing. And he did not understand this sentence at all. And every time the practice of archery happened, every time he used to really aim at the target and correctly hit the spot, and used to be so happy. With that absolute happiness, he used to look at master. Master used to be not at all happy. He said, why did you release the arrow? You should not be releasing. And this guy got a little sick of this. What is this happening? So he decides he is leaving this place, because he is not at all encouraged, acknowledged, and is not at all appreciated. So he goes to master, and the master was actually teaching his student at that time. And because he was teaching the student, he was teaching him how to keep the bow, how to have the arrow. And you know what, the master was teaching the student, and then he released the arrow. Okay. And the arrow went and hit the spot. But the master was saying, this is how you need to do. And then, see, you do it with ease. So, it is not you who is doing. And suddenly, it just struck him. One thing is the doership. That I am pointing at this thing. I am doing it because I am very good in archery. I am doing it because I am hitting the spot. Because the master went on telling, hitting the target is not necessary. I don't want you to hit the target. I just want you to not hit. So he was not able to understand. I hope I'm giving that clear sentence. YOU is in capital letters. So here, the moment he realized that the doership is not there and he does it with ease, some other force is carrying the arrow to the where it is required. That's it. It is the arrow takes it. Right? I think that the poet also talks about some poet, bow and arrow, no, Bala and Arti. He also has
Gibran, no?
Khalil Gibran also has a very beautiful poem regarding that. And so that is where Brahmaji also comes with an absolute nonsense doership there. And he talks about very, very beautifully. So I just thought in an analogy way, I thought of explaining here. Bala, tell me.
Yeah, no, as you were saying this arrow, I remembered recently when I was hearing Sundarakanda from Swamiji. Very beautiful. So we will go from back. When the Hanuman, the same example, the first in Valmiki Ramayana, the same analogy is given. Okay, when Hanuman, Valmiki or Tulasi Ramayana somewhere. Okay, so when Hanuman leaps, okay, the ocean, so he is flying like the arrow. Okay, from Rama's quiver. Okay, that is the beautiful analogy given. And look at this. Why Hanumanji, if you see, all powerful, for everything it is Hanumanji, isn't it? He is so powerful. I don't know. You cannot say any attribute which he did not, have. That kind of thing. But yet, when in that bank in the seashore, when they were waiting, we all know that story where all the Vanaras, they are tired, they are waiting and looking at the sea. Yet each of the Vanaras coming and saying, I can jump so many miles. Yes, Angada says, I can go one way and come back. Yes, but I have no energy to come back. So each of the Vanaras are saying what they can do. Yes, and Hanuman is sitting in one corner. Okay, like a very small, like nobody. He's just there sitting. Then Jambavan comes. And then Jambavan says, Hanuman, have you forgotten? You are the Sishya of the Surya himself. You are Kesari Nandan. You are Vayu Putra. All this he says. Hanuman is still sitting. Yes, he is glorifying first Hanuman's powers. Jambavan. Okay, he's saying you have forgotten your powers. You have all that. You can. The wind god is always with you. Hanuman is just there, no movement. Then he says, Hanuman, you have come here for a mission sent by you by Bhagavan Sri Ram. The moment Hanuman listens to Ram, that gets onto his ears, that is his identity. That gets into his ears, he immediately jumps up. Yes, and then he says, and then Jambavan says, Rama has taken you, as chosen you to cross this and go find Sita Mata. You are the chosen one. You have to accomplish the mission. Said, yes, Jai Shri Ram. That is when Hanuman becomes big and then crosses the ocean. So the Hanumanji, it is like so beautiful that humility, right? There is no doership. Okay, there is no question of dropping because no doership only. He did not have a separate identity. For him, he was always aware of the fact, like Brahma, he was always aware of the fact that it is Ram who is giving him the Shakti. It is Ram who is making him do it. I'm just an instrument. I am just a monkey. So another instance is where, when he meets Sita Mata and, all the conversations are over. And then Sita, after Hanuman has done everything, then Sita Mata says, okay, Hanuman says, don't worry, Mata. There are so many monkeys like me. Okay, Bhagwan Ram will come. Ramchandra will come and rescue you. We all are with Rama. Sita Mata, she knows the power of Bhagwan Ram, but then she looks at this small little Hanuman was like the size of, a mosquito, they say, when he first meets Sita Mata, very small. So he looks, Vanaras like you, Hanuman, Sita Mata. She had a doubt, very sincere doubt, Then so she asks, is it? Then at that time to show, that, I am the weakest of the Vanaras, actually, Sita Mata. And then he shows that way they say, Sukshma Rupa Dhari, Siyehi Dikhawa, Vikata Rupa. So he actually shows that Vikata Rupa also to Sita. The moment that Sita sees that, that expression of awe comes to Sita Mata. Okay, wow. The moment that is there, Hanuman is not comfortable. He immediately becomes small. Look at that humility in him. Yes, he was always very sensitive. He never allowed that individual identity to come up. Immediately comes down. He says, whatever I have done is the Shakti given by Ramchandraji. It is not me. I am just a monkey jumping from one branch to another. So Hanumanji is so, lot of instances we can quote where he was very, very alert so that ego never comes up. And all the time, he was identified as an instrument of Rama to do seva for Rama. So,
a similar story on Hanuman. This has come as WhatsApp forward. I don't know if there is a specific reference to something. It's when Hanuman Lord Hanuman had written the Ramayana. And then when he shows it to Valmiki, Valmiki becomes really, really sad. The message is very nice. I don't know about its authenticity, but anyway, the message to take away is very good. He shows it to Valmiki just to confirm and see if that is all right, well stated and all. And then Valmiki is supposed to have become very, very sad after that. And then Hanuman asks, why are you sad? And Valmiki says, it's just there is just so much bhakti and oneness in your Ramayana, and nobody will read my Ramayana now. So, and it is said that Hanuman has just shredded the whatever he had written into pieces, and he said, I didn't write it at all. It was only his words which poured into it. So let only your Ramayana be there, because he had that no sense of separate identification. So so he was he did it just out of bhakti for his Lord, and did it. So it just brings out that sense of oneness and the sense of non-doership.
Yes, indeed. So that is how Brahmaji felt about it, and after this slide, we will move on to a very interesting introspective discussion. So all of you keep your mind active, because here itself, I thought of asking. Okay, Aarti, what do you see here?
I see a lot of tools.
Yeah, you see tools. Correct. Right. Wait one second. What happened to this? Okay. Uh-oh. One second. Something went wrong. What do you see here?
Clay.
Clay. Right. So clay is one raw material. We have tools. Okay. So we have tools. We have clay material, but the product is not made. Who has to make it? One guy. For example, I have to use the tools. I have to use this raw material with clay to make something, and then you create. You make something there. And that is how very beautifully Tejomayananda ji speaks here, that how Brahmaji says that, you know what, you are saying that I have done the creation here. Array, there were already materials already there. In the cosmic universe, they were there. They were existing jivas there, existing beings there, and their respective karmas. So, as more and more we go to Bhagavatam, we will actually see all the, Brahma's children, and from Brahma's children, from children to children, how the beautiful growth has happened, from one seed, how it has grown to many, many trees, like that. So, that is how you think that I have created, but already materials were there. It is like this. Without these materials, I cannot create. But you know what? Narayana didn't have these materials. Array, Narayana manifested, he created me itself. So, and he did not have raw materials to create something. So that is the beauty of Narayana himself, because, and I create only by the light of Bhagavan. So just imagine you have these raw materials and you are in a dark room. Can you create something? So if you all think like that, you need light to create something. And that light, where it is coming, if you think like that, so that is where again absolute non-doership, that light is there from the Bhagavan. Actually in pranic healing, when we do healing energies also, no, we always close our eyes and said, oh Bhagavan, pass the divine healing energies to me so that I can pass the healing energies from me to the other person. So there is an absolute non-doership. It's not I healed that person. It is the power of the divine healing energy which healed. I was just an instrument, a tool to go. So Brahmaji is beautifully talking about that the light was there, and because of the light of the Bhagavan, that I was able to create it. It's like, we say, in this class also, it's not Aarti, Prabha or Bala who is speaking here. It is not at all, we are not speaking, even the body is existing here. It is the light shown to us, and somehow beautifully the class goes. So that is where he said, this is the minimal aspect of creation, which Aarti will expand upon it in the next class about the creation aspect. But now I think over to Bala, where you wanted to say something, right?
Yeah. See, before that, I was one analogy came to my mind. How beautifully, see, Brahmaji was given the knowledge, jnana, tattva jnana, before he started the creation by Lord Narayana himself. Okay, that also we will see later. So, if you look at it, knowledge is like a flowing river. Okay, so flowing river, it is the water that flows is important. Where it flows, whether it flows, around the mountain, or whether it goes into a pit, or it goes across, whatever. all those things, they do not matter much. That is how our Indian knowledge systems have been. That is why we don't have patenting. The whole thing becomes, when we start getting into that name, authorship, patenting, the focus of that becomes more egocentric, more worldly, more material. We are moved away from the purpose of this entire knowledge. Okay, so I remember a few years back, I also used to think, our rishis must have written, somewhere, their names somewhere, so that we know these people have done this. But look at the subtlety here. Knowledge is just flowing, like water flowing. So can the mountain say, because water came from me, it belongs to me? Can the rock say, yes, the water flowed through me, so it belongs to me? No. None of the rishis, none of those who are in the Guru Parampara say, knowledge is mine. They all were very clearly an instrument, such a purified instrument, so that the knowledge is actually flowing there. So there is absolutely, yesterday when I was watching Gurudev's Quest movie, in that also, when he goes to his Guru, Tapovan Maharaj, he actually, hours of trek in the peaks of Himalayas. Okay, he has to reach his Guru who was in Uttarkashi, and he goes there. Immediately after he goes, Tapovan Maharaj looks at Swami Chinmayananda and says, why have you come? And Swami Chinmaya says, I have come here for knowledge. Please give me the knowledge of Upanishads and all that. Tapovan Maharaj says, he would have been sent by another Swami Shivananda. Do you have a letter? He would ask. He says, I don't have any letter. Then Tapovan Maharaj wouldn't talk anything. Okay, then Swami Chinmayananda would say, I would like to learn, Upanishads from you, Vedas from you. And Tapovan Maharaj says, did you hear what I told you? So they wouldn't even, use extra energy and effort there. That's it. And then Swami Chinmayananda again comes back to Rishikesh, all, walking, and gets the letter and goes back. So one of the Sishyas of Tapovan Maharaj asks him, actually, he looks very sincere. Why did you ask him for the letter? He said, see, this knowledge is very precious. It should, should be taken. It cannot be given. Look at the humility of the Guru there. Yeah, he says it has to flow. It is not that I'm giving it. I'm that person who is the recipient, should really be like we have been again and again seeing in Bhagavatam, how Parikshit is so pure, so ready to learn, so much of humility. Again here, Narada Muni, so much of humility. Yes, and looking at the feet of the Guru and learning. So that is how the knowledge, it is so holy, I would say. The sanctity of this knowledge is like, so the knowledge is important. It does not, really, that is why maybe these patenting and the naming and all was not there. The focus is to move towards Bhagavan or towards truth. That is the purpose of life. So knowledge is important. Knowledge keeps flowing. So as long as we ensure that we recipients are humble, eager to learn, then the knowledge flows. Knowledge may stop the moment we become very, egocentric and whatever. So that one thing came to my mind.
So that non-doership, to really understand this sense of non-doership, can I say I am breathing, or is breathing happening?
Happening only, yeah.
Many times it's just happening. Can I say digestion, I am doing the digestion, or I am digesting the food, or is the digestion happening?
Happening.
It is only happening. Similarly, everything like this knowledge, when it is shared, it is just happening through me. When it is just happening through me, like what Prabha said, I am merely an instrument, a medium. These instruments are being used. This mouth has been used. This is one instrument. It has been used. And through that, it is coming out. That's all. But it is all coming from where? He is the only shining, all powerful radiator and giver. He is the only giver, and that is just coming, flowing through this whole this particular instrument or these instruments. So it's just happening through us, is a sense of non-doership.
Again, to get this non-doership, it is beyond our prayatana, they say. By self-effort, it doesn't happen. Yeah, it happens only by surrender. Okay, because self-effort, I am there, no? So I am putting effort. So only by surrender, this non-doership comes. So this is very beautiful. So we were thinking quickly, look at the way Parikshit, the questions of Parikshit itself. The very first question of Parikshit was, a dying man, what I must do? Yes, which is that was the first question. What must a dying man do so that, the last few days? But after listening to that, after listening to all that meditative practices that Shukamuni has given, the question now has moved to what I must do. That is not there. He now wants to know more about that Supreme Being, Bhagavan. He is asking, what does he do? What is his creation? So automatically it has shifted, right? So we were thinking, we have been in this Bhagavatam for a few months from now, and we've been listening, interacting, and we've been traveling with Parikshit and Shukamuni. So can each one of us also kind of think, reflect, and see how much of Bhagavatam has really gone in through me? Am I, because Shravana is happening, yes, listening, and Mananam, many times we all reflect, we all think about it, okay, and Mananam is where any doubts are there, it gets clarified, and a strong conviction comes. Yes, Bhakti is the, whatever, each one of us would have got some Mananam. Nididhyasanam is where we start living what we have studied and what we have, what we are clearly, clearly know about intellectually. So any scripture, it is not enough that we just keep listening and discussing and reflecting. We need to start living those in our daily lives. So just for each one of us to think through and also share, please. If you have seen, any kind of the way you look at life situations, if there are any changes, are you maybe, how this study, if it has impacted your life practically in any way, you can maybe share or think through, reflect and share it with us. If even one or two, it could be very small things, it may not be huge ones. How it has been, I think time and again we need to see this scriptural learning. In what way am I taking it? How am I applying it in my life?
And also sharing is a way of crystallizing. Sometimes we just feel that it is there, but it's in my mind. But when I share it, I speak about it, I put it in words, there is a crystallization of that. So you could either put it in the chat, or if you want to unmute and talk about it, that's fine. Whatever.
More self and God aware. Try to feel more bhakti while praying. Yeah. Okay. Yes, many times our puja becomes ritualistic. Now maybe, truly connecting to Bhagavan. And
if anyone wants to unmute also, you're welcome, because you have the facility. If you feel I can't type so much, I don't have my glasses or something, so don't hesitate.
of my actions. Yeah.
First, we become aware of our actions. Kaya, that's my action. Then vacha, what are my words? And then manasa. And we take control over our actions, our mind, our words, and then our mind. So when we become aware of our thoughts and feelings, automatically my words and action also come under control. What we speak and think, correct.
Solving. Yeah, very free, very true, no? Appa, we feel so free only, correct. So much of anxiety, we feel like major weight from our shoulders, right? Many things with my children, I have felt that way. Okay, he is protecting, you know. Yes.
Yeah, we do become less anxious, no, when we are able to bring that bit of surrender, at least.
Doership indeed binds us.
Soumya Shri wants to say something. You have raised your hand.
What I have learned are mainly, I have learned two things, Bhaginis. One is like in almost all the classes, you say that we should like forget the doership, aham. Whatever we do or we get, it is not because of our this thing,
Alone.
but it is because of Bhagavan's grace that it's happening in my life. Whether it is good or bad, difficulty or happiness, whatever it's happening, it's what Bhagavan has given. I cannot question him why you have given this. That is one thing I learned. And second thing is like Kunti Mata, she gets problems upon problems. But she feels like I am Anu, and I cannot question the Bhagavan. He's Parabrahman, so I cannot question him. Whatever comes in life, we have to take it. So when I got into trying times, this helped me, these two things, to forget that we are the doer and to accept things that are happening in our life. So, and the conflict in my, mind, it got, what do you say, like the waves of the water, it used to go off quickly. Otherwise, I used to churn it back and forth.
Yeah.
I have come to so much level that I even don't tell my mother what is happening with in my in-laws house or with my husband or whatever it is. Earlier, I used to feel like if I tell, my sorrow will reduce or I feel soothing, something like that. But now I don't feel the, need to spread the negativity.
Wow, fantastic.
And even here, Kalpana ji has told, when I see others, I started thinking, oh, they are also creation of God like me. That is such an accept. Wonderful.
So beautiful. About this.
Last time we told this story, right, in that ashram, the Vishnu's disguise avatars in the ashram. Everyone started looking at everyone.
Yes.
As, oh, maybe,
Yes.
maybe she.
Yes.
After that, listening to that story and after telling it, like you say, the crystallization of the thought, suddenly somewhere someone disturbs you, and suddenly that story comes into my head.
Yeah.
It's also Narayana. Okay, he's come to disturb my thought process and make it churn, like Saumishri was saying. Okay, let me see her as Narayana, and then maybe how it will turn. And suddenly it just changes, it shifts our focus.
Yes. Actually, recently only that also connected to me so much. When churning is happening, put that also at his feet. Your mind, what does it mean? Mayarpita Manobuddhi means I am arpanam, I am doing arpanam of my manas and buddhi means whatever state of mind it is yours. I'm putting that also in your feet. So beautiful, that was so powerful. When I was a little disturbed, someone told me that. So Ramakrishna, there is a beautiful story. Thakur, he I don't remember who was it. Ghosh, right? I don't know. Okay, he is a very ardent disciple of Ramakrishna. Before he becomes a disciple, he was a theater artist. Okay, and he used to drink a lot, and he was an atheist. He did not believe in Swamiji's and all that. So, but he used to direct a lot of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dramas. So Thakur used to come, and once he came and he watched. I never feel like fighting with others. Seeing Narayana in everybody. Yes.
Yeah, we begin to reflect on the situation before reacting. Downloaded all our troubles.
Yes. Yeah, we can pray for him only.
He can absorb everything.
So,
Yes.
Girish Chandra Ghosh, yes. So, thanks for that break. Suddenly it came. So, before he becomes the disciple, then, but looking at Thakur, he felt that, he is someone, very great. Somehow it attracted him. So, he said, see, I am not a very good person. I drink, I'm very arrogant. But I know I'm not peaceful. Hey, you are a great master. No? You help me. Okay, but there was a complete surrender also in that Girish Chandra Ghosh. So then Ramakrishna says, okay, so you do some japa, 20 times you start daily. He said, I cannot do all that. That's why I've come here. Okay, all my habits are not healthy. I cannot sit in one place. I cannot do all that. If I close my eyes, I can think only about me. I'm a very arrogant person. Why do you think I have come here? Tell me. Then he smiles and Thakur says, okay, do one thing. You cannot do anything, right? So give your mind, everything to me only and go. Oh, okay. Your buddhi, intellect, everything you have to give it to me. So he says, okay, that is very easy. Everything I have to give it to you. That's all. No? Okay, it's yours. And then he goes. So after some time, he comes back and then he says, you told me all this. See, now my mind is very disturbed. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he asks this question, whose mind is disturbed? Because you have already given your mind to me. So whose mind is disturbed? He asks. That is when, it opens up, something opens up for Girish Chandra Ghosh. He says, oh yes. He says, what you have already given it to me, I will take care. Whether that has to be disturbed or calm or peaceful or whatever, it is in my hands, not in your hands. You don't have to worry, go. So that was the beginning point for Girish Chandra Ghosh. And then that surrender, at that level. So that really touched me. So even if my mind is chanchala, whatever, put it at his feet, over. So like what who was saying, Samishri ji was saying, I think it will go away. It does not add stories and keep coming again and again.
Beautiful. You did a very good finale story also. Shall we end the session?
Yeah.
Finish with one song, one Kuti Bhajan. बोलो नारायण जय जय विठ्ठला, बोलो नारायण जय जय विठ्ठला, हरि नारायण रंग रंग विठ्ठला, हरि नारायण रंग रंग विठ्ठला, श्रीरंग विठ्ठला हरे रंग विठ्ठला, श्रीरंग विठ्ठला हरे रंग विठ्ठला, बोलो नारायण जय जय विठ्ठला, बोलो नारायण जय जय विठ्ठला, श्रीरंग विठ्ठला रकुमाई विठ्ठला, श्रीरंग विठ्ठला रकुमाई विठ्ठला, गोपाल विठ्ठला पांडुरंग विठ्ठला, गोपाल विठ्ठला पांडुरंग विठ्ठला, श्रीरंग विठ्ठला हरे रंग विठ्ठला, श्रीरंग विठ्ठला हरे रंग विठ्ठला, बोलो नारायण जय जय 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 विठ्ठला. ओ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Thank you. Namaste. Shubharatri to